I want to provide a quick update. I am working on something more long form. It's going to have a video, it's going to have a script, it's going to be based on true story with fictitious elements to protect the person the story is about. I think it aligns well with the content that's already posted out here, and I think a lot of people will relate with it and use it as a motivating tool to get over something that they are troubled with in their life currently, or give them inspiration to keep going. But with that being said, this video is going to be about accountability. So what does that mean? There's responsibility and accountability, and they both very much kind of mean the same thing. But responsibility is essentially the things that you do, you have to do, right, that are assigned to you, whether it be in a literal sense that you are responsible to feed yourself unless you are unable, right? You're responsible to make sure you're hydrated, etc. Now, accountability comes in to assess whether or not those responsibilities are being carried out, and if they're being carried out effectively or they're being carried out poorly. So you're going to get the bill from whoever essentially saying, hey, you need to get going, otherwise if you don't drink enough fluids you will die. So your body biologically is going to hold you accountable and make you aware that you need to be carrying out the responsibilities. And in a practical sense, as far as outside of biology, in life, when you do things, your routine, whether it is goal setting, things that you're trying to accomplish in your life, who's holding you accountable to ensure that you're executing on those responsibilities in an efficient, effective, or consistent manner, right? That's the key thing. Whether it is yourself, which is very hard, I will admit. It is easier with others to have your back in supporting that, reinforcement, right? Yourself, it is doable. It can be done, and it has been done, but definitely it has more of a challenge attached to it because you are going to, by default, allow yourself the path of least resistance. It's just a survival mechanism. It's not really anything against you. In general, we're going to want to take the path of least resistance because that's going to provide us that quote unquote survival, right? That's animal instinct to a certain point. Now, there is nuance on that. People who want more will go into the path of resistance to achieve it if that's what it takes, right? But that's for a different video. I'd like to put this premise out there, or maybe this idea rather. Who do you have that's close in your life? Someone that you can really trust, someone that you can give your all in everything to, right? Whether it be you'll give them the shirt off your back, or you'll give them all your emotional load, or someone you trust to give you advice or help you navigate the mysterious world that is life and humanity. Why not build your own board? Build your own executive table. We are the CEOs of our own life, and we need, like a corporation or a company, we need board members, we need other executives that complement us, that boost us, that cover our backs, that make us think about things in different light, give us answers to questions we didn't know we needed to know, right? Or even ask the right questions that really helps us move forward. So for instance, I have a group of people that I'm very, very much close with. I've known them for about 20 years or so. And we have formed a group, via Discord, where we are active. We have a bunch of channels that we post up. It's in its infancy. We're trying to figure out how do we spread this and make it bigger. That's one thing. But the idea here is that we have these conversations, and we're very sporadic. We don't live in the same state. We all have different careers, and we're all very driven. We're all very close with one another. We take we are humble in accepting criticism from each other. We tell it how it is, and we are our own and each other's confidants. We make sure that we are in the best interest of helping each other. So my idea that I got from somebody who was kind of doing something similar was to make sure that there's a consistent beacon on which these great minds that I trust extremely can connect, share, grow, and enhance themselves. And that way the aggregate of these people you associate with, will be better than being on our own and trying to catch up every once in a while, but having a accountability system where we are sharing what we're responsible for day to day. We're sharing our ambitions, our goals, our weaknesses, everything. We're getting very vulnerable. We're getting very clear out in the open, so that if I don't do what I need to do in a week, that I put in our server, and I say, hey, I'm trying to set up these interviews this week. Okay, well, did I do it? They can see whether or not I did, and then they can tell me. They'll ask me when we get to our weekly meeting. They'll say, hey, why didn't you get it done, or what happened, or blah blah blah, and they're going to try to give me recommendations to help me get better, right? Help me make me better, so I can ensure that I achieve that those things every week or whatever the case may be. And this is there's a lot of complications in it, but the whole idea is this is a support system. So build your support system. Who's close to you? Who's someone you can trust and confide in? Building that support system, I will tell you, like, doing this for my group of very close friends, they're pretty much my family, has helped us tremendously. It helps us cut out the bullshit. It's part of my French. It helps you realize that you are really not doing what you need to do when you need to do it. It'll help you realize, hey, maybe I'm getting in my own head too much. Maybe I'm self-sabotaging. Maybe I'm, doing things that I can't see because I'm so accustomed to doing and living and operating the way I do because I live on my own, right? But when I come to these meetings or when I'm posting in these different channels we have, certain things come to light, and they can pick those out, and I can do the same for them. And then that way we're all growing and we're getting better. And the whole thing is that if I'm having my worst day and they're all having their best days, the average of that will help boost me up, and it has tremendously. Have helped me open my eyes to different things, helped me cope with certain issues I've had, and it's having this direct line of communication where every week we have a meeting and we discuss certain things. We are currently reading a book, and we're talking about this book, and we're also bringing up our monthly objectives, our weekly checkpoints, our yearly milestones we're trying to hit, our life goals. We have challenges that we do every week. We have channels where we talk about finances, and we have channels for resources and self-improvement, health, lifestyle, real estate. We also have all of our different types of goals posted out. Our challenge channel. We have a main channel as well. We have all these different channels. We built this tool, this ecosystem to facilitate accountability, facilitate success. Because accountability really ensures that you achieve the success that you want to have. So if you want to be a really good fry cook, whatever, right? Who's holding you accountable to ensure that, hey, you're on track, or hey, you're not getting there, or hey, maybe you can do this a little more? Like, who's giving you that feedback, that those check-ins, if you will, those progress reports, and also help guiding what your responsibility should and shouldn't be, because that can get tricky as well. But I think if I can leave you with one thing, it's just build that network. There's no one I know, and there's very few, I think, anywhere that do something like this, where they get their most trusted people they know will be successful, or know have the work ethic, or know they can rely and trust on, and form something where, hey, look, for this to work, we have to all buy into it, because it doesn't work if everyone's not buying into it. And you have to call people out, hold them accountable. You say, hey, you're talking about all this stuff you want to do, right? Be in these meetings, engage in this dialogue, post in those channels, because it's going to hold you accountable. It's going to make you consistent. It's going to give you a routine to follow, so that way you're consistently doing something that's going to help improve you. And then in that, it's going to help put a spotlight on holes that you didn't know you had in your game, or in your tool bag. So now you're dropping all these things that you could be better leveraging, or actually be able to use that you didn't know you could because you didn't have this awareness, right? So that's something that I think is important. Get with a team, get with a good group of people you extremely trust, and just move forward and build one another and make the aggregate of what you are better than you would be individually, and in that you will achieve success. I've seen it just doing our kind of demo of this, and we're trying to at some point make it a broad thing where we can bring more people. We have to make sure we can abide by it and abide by the rules and ensure that the tools are being leveraged and fleshed out properly so we can understand the nuances, so that way when we put it in a larger scale, we can be able to apply it at that scale in a way that is beneficial to everybody that undertakes it, and not just, good for a small group of people, right? So something that's being worked on. But like I said, there is going to be some more consistently improving videos in the pipeline. I will be working on those this weekend, and then as well as maybe potentially moving to 2 times a week posting videos. So we will make those attempts and make those adjustments if possible, where possible. And yeah, that's all I can leave you is accountability. Hold yourself accountable, or at the very least, but at the most, please just find a group of people that you can really build something with, and you will be surprised how far you'll go with that group by your side, people you can trust. And having that insight, having that unique perspective is always refreshing and very rewarding when you leverage it appropriately.